Okay, I think this is interview number 5. Um, so yeah, here we go. All right, today we're here at Workhorse Coffee with the fine staff of Workhorse Coffee, and they're closing up, so you'll hear them a little bit. And we have the privilege of being with John Mark.
Which camera should I look at? Both of them?
Both at the same time.
Both.
So yeah, how are you doing today?
I'm great, thank you.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. We caught you just before you are leaving to your going away party.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Yeah, tonight. Yeah.
Yeah. And you're going away to
Los Angeles. Yeah.
Everybody asks the question, well, I mean, I guess they don't always ask the question, but I guess the question I think of is, why not New York?
Well, I already lived in New York for 3 years,
Okay.
so that's why not New York for me. But I think it's less about the city specifically and more about, I think I'm someone that likes to move around a lot. And I've been here for 4 years, which for me is a long time.
You've been in Minnesota for 4 years?
Yeah, I came back. I've been back for 4 years. So I grew up here and then I left and I lived in New York and China.
Oh yeah, China. I forgot about that as well.
Yeah.
My goodness.
But I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited for the next chapter. I've been going back and forth a lot this year and like feeling it out.
What in LA kind of magnetized you to go out there? Like, or was there something out there, or more work, or
work? Yeah, absolutely
winter?
work. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not like it's not like I hate the winter, and it's not like I haven't really romanticized LA in my mind for a very long time. I think I'm just at a place where I really want to work a lot, and I get to work out there.
Well, to give you a little practice before you go out to LA, as I'm sure a lot of people ask you, what exactly is it that you do?
Well, I'm a serial killer.
Okay, great.
And a mother of 5.
That's the best answer I've gotten since like all these interviews. Like, I'm happy to hear somebody actually, facetiously indulge me.
Yeah, I don't know what I do. I'm a director and choreographer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could you say the creative director, executive? I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the title creative director gets tossed around a little too liberally these days, but I make content, I make videos, and I make dances. A lot of times the videos that I make end up being really physical. It's like people dancing, people fighting.
I did not realize how not physical I was until I worked with you. Like I run and I move around and I'm like, I could, and I think this may speak to a lot of people that think they can dance. How did you come into like this very like, because like a lot of your movements are very, they're very big almost.
Yeah.
To my, in my context, which is not a lot of dance background, but what influenced your choreography style and your dance style?
Well, I'd like to say first that I think my style is always evolving. I feel like every year, even every 6 months, I feel like the look and feel of my dances change. But I guess my style is probably a reflection of my background, which is like this kind of clash of modern and ballet, and then also like hip hop and Vogue. And I like to play like between the genres quite a bit.
Modern ballet and which one did you go in first? Modern ballet or ballet or hip hop?
Modern and ballet kind of at the same time. I guess maybe musical theater earlier. I did some musical theater as a kid, but that wasn't really formative for me as a dancer. I actually was a really bad dancer when I was little.
What?
Yeah, I remember I was in like the Wizard of Oz in the 4th grade.
Yeah.
And I was in the Lollipop Guild, and I had to learn this dance. And I was humiliated because all the other munchkins like learned the dance like this, and I couldn't get it. It was frustrating.
So right then and there, you said, I'm never going to dance again.
I didn't say I'd never dance again, but it was definitely like, oh, I'm not a good dancer. And then for whatever reason, once I was like 14, 15, like the tides changed.
Did you get better at it when you were 14 or 15?
Yeah.
Is that did you like have a growth spurt, or like what happened? Like what clicked?
Well, I went to Performing Arts High School. I went to Main Street School of Performing Arts, which is now called PIM Arts High School.
Yeah.
And I came in as a theater major. Thought I wanted to be a theater artist. And then I took a ballet and modern dance class. And you know that like buzz you feel as a performer?
Yeah.
I kind of felt in environment, like a stronger buzz. So I changed my major from theater to dance. And the program there is
Changed your
like,
major in high school?
yeah, well, it's like an arts high school. So we
Yeah.
like declare a major. Like,
That's
what's your
intense,
major?
though. That is intense. I would have never been able to be like, I'm going for this at the age
Yeah.
of like 14 or 15.
And it was absolutely very intense. I mean, I was dancing like 3 to 5 hours a day, from freshman to senior year of high school.
Shit.
So I think so often people are like, oh my God, she's been dancing since she was 5. And I think it's really about like the time and effort and energy you put into it. I think you can start it at any age, really.
Okay, so you didn't seriously start until 14 or 15?
Yeah.
Okay. And then how long does it take? Because the thing I noticed when I was working with you is that it took me a long time to get like muscle memory going with the choreography, but everybody else around me who've been dancing forever was just like real like they got it right away.
Yeah.
Like they were able to, like click it into place. Like is it like usual like it takes somebody about 6 months to get like good at memorizing choreography? Or is it just like a lifetime of work?
No, I think it's different for every person. I mean, it's the same thing as like some actors are better and quicker at memorizing lines than others. Like, people who go into fields of technology like learn code quicker than others. So it's a practice and a skill. I think that the thing about dance is it's a dancer's job to make something look effortless. So many people come into it thinking, oh, dance, this is easy, I've got it. I can't tell you how many recording artists I've worked with that have come in and be like, all right, teach me how to dance. And then like, this isn't like,
Well,
Rome wasn't built in a day.
I would. I don't think I came in with that attitude.
No.
I definitely humbled myself, and I was like, I'm gonna go into the corner of the room and watch everybody dance, which was very intimidating. I haven't felt that challenged in a long time. For people that don't know, I had John Mark choreograph a music video of mine, and now we're editing it as best we can to make it look like I can dance. But it still looks beautiful. What are some misconceptions of dance that people have coming into it, especially with artists that come in and say, teach me how to dance, let's go?
Yeah. Well, I think a little bit like your experience, I think that sometimes recording artists will feel really intimidated by backup dancers.
Yeah.
But like they're there to support you. And like your backup dancers probably should be better dancers than you. I mean, that's what they do. That's like their gig. So yeah, I think that's a misconception. I don't know. I think that shows like Dancing with the Stars and So You Think You Can Dance are a lot of fun, and I really appreciate how they've definitely contributed to a larger economy for dance. But I think that those shows have fostered some misconceptions.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, like Billy D. Williams kept winning at like Dancing with the Stars, and like there was a point because he kept getting voted up. Like his dance wasn't like I don't think it was that great, but he had like a large fan base, so he kept winning. And then there was a point where he was like, guys, my doctor told me I gotta stop. Yeah. So he had to step off the show. But I don't know, that's, for me, it looks like a hell of a lot of work, and people get really, is there usually that amount of like, I don't know, not anger, but frustration? Like, cause in like some of those shows you see them rehearsing, and like they're yelling at each other and whatnot. Like, is that a part of kind of dance culture or no?
No, that hasn't been my experience at all. I think that's probably like drama for television.
Yeah.
I think that for me it's important to have just a lot of respect in the room. Dance is a very vulnerable thing, and
yes. Yeah.
You're asking someone to really like open themselves up, and I think that the studio and the rehearsal room really needs to be a safe space.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know as a choreographer, I always work to create that safe space, and the dancers that I work with as well, and the dancers that I book for jobs need to also be invested in creating that safe space.
And it seemed like when I was working with you, like a lot of people trusted you, and they knew who you were, and like a lot of the people that were a part of it, they had worked for you before, or they had worked with you, or they had been taught by you. Did you teach dance? Have you been teaching dance? In the past, like outside of choreography?
Yeah. I've been teaching here in Minneapolis. Actually,
Mhm.
I'm not teaching any longer, but
Yeah.
it's been great to like take some of those students that I've had and see them work.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Where do you start with somebody who hasn't? Where do you start if you're teaching somebody to dance? Where do you
yeah.
start with them? Does it
Um,
depend on their body? Depend on like what they can do or can't do?
yeah, for like a music video or
For a music video, yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think the goal is again to like have the movements support their performance and support who they are. So I think the first thing that I like to do is just see what they can do and what kind of movement they look good doing and
Hmm.
where they're at in terms of being able to learn choreography, but also still perform what they need to perform.
Yeah.
So usually I'll start with like some gestures. If it's someone who's really new to dance, I'll be like, okay, you've got your chorus. Let's pick a couple moments in that chorus to like make a gesture or a move,
Yeah.
and then kind of build out from there.
Uh-huh.
I like to say a lot when I work on music videos that I'm like creating a toolbox with the artist.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember
You
you
know,
saying
it's
that.
like here's some stuff that you can use, like here's some movement you can do, here's some things that you can kind of improvise with.
Uh-huh.
But also, it's up to the artist to communicate to me like how they like to work. Some artists like to choreograph to the lyrics. Some artists like to choreograph to counts. Some artists like want everything to be really structured and everything to be choreographed. All their moments, even their moments that appear candid on stage, they want those to be choreographed. Others artists are like, you know what, come in, give me some stuff for the chorus, give me some ideas for the verse, and I'll just roll with it.
Yeah. And I like working with you. Like I couldn't have asked for more because I was kind of blown away by how how closely you stick to not only the choreography but where the camera should be as well, and what certain movements will match with where the camera is at or like where people should be in the space,
Yeah.
which I had ignorantly never really thought about. I was like, show me some moves. Um, what what is one of your favorite like music video hip hop choreography pieces, or like one of them? I mean, I'm sure there's not like a number one of all time, um, but is there anything that comes to mind that you've seen in the past that's kind of influenced you in your journey of choreography?
Totally. I was really inspired by Janet Jackson for sure.
Did you read this? Do you
No,
Oh my God.
I didn't.
Okay, go ahead. Say it. Say it. Which one?
Well,
Which
so
one?
I liked her. This is like one of her less celebrated albums, but I really liked her Discipline album in 2008.
Okay.
She has this video Rock With You that's like a one take dance
Oh,
number between two rooms.
yeah.
And that really inspired me. And I kind of saw like a lot of myself in there because my hip hop style is kind of like, I like to think it's kind of elegant. It kind of has like a contemporary flair. And I think, we're in an industry where people are like, well, what is it like? Like what, like describe what are artists that you align with or what isn't. I think the closest thing that I've been able to say is like, it's kind of like my style's a little like Janet Jackson's.
That's
The
crazy.
way she moves.
I literally wrote down my favorite one is Janet Jackson, Rhythm Nation,
Yeah.
because I got into that, and I'm not saying it's like crunking, and I could totally be misusing the word crunking, but just how like they were just like very like very solid, like unapologetic, like unfiltered movements that were they're very black and loud, just very
Yeah,
like I just
yeah.
there was something about that, and especially with the live performances that I just gravitated to, and I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah, she's an amazing performer.
Did you ever listen to the Velvet Rope?
The Velvet Rope.
The one that she made up, she had to break up in it was in the 90s. The cover is like her hair. It's just like
Oh
that.
yeah. Yeah,
That's one of my favorites.
it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Discipline. I'm gonna have to listen to that. I've never listened to that before.
Yeah.
How did you get into film?
I've been making movies since I was little. So when I was in like the 6th grade, I had like a VHS camcorder.
Yeah.
And I would like shoot videos in my backyard and then edit with like, you're like, oh, it was so awful. Like the 2 VHS players where you have one with the blank tape and one that's like your raw footage. And you like, so
I think I kind of remember that.
yeah.
Wow.
So I was like a big, like, that was like my hobby growing up.
So you got into film before you got into dance?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then I kind of left film and focused on dance for a while.
Uh-huh.
And then When I was living in New York, I was working in publishing at this magazine, and they didn't have any video content. And I was like, you know, they're sending me out interviewing really cool people, designers and actors and performers. And I was like, it would be so fun to interview them on camera.
Yeah.
So I just got a friend of mine in New York. I brought him on, and we started shooting little like features videos, kind of like this. Um, um, and then I was just like, oh, this is so fun. I want to get more into film. And kind of fast forward to choreographing for a number of years and being on set. And
Yeah.
I got to work with so many great directors and producers, and it gave me the confidence to be like, you know what, I think I want to start directing. And you kind of mentioned earlier too, like camera blocking is something I do as a choreographer. That might be another misconception as well. A lot of times choreographers are working with the DP and with the director on like how stuff is shot and covered and what's gonna serve the performance best.
What in your mind is good choreography? Or is there no such thing as good or bad? It's just like art up for interpretation.
I mean, gosh, that's a big question, right? What is good music?
No, that's a good question. Fair.
You know, like I think I think I just like to see people strive for excellence. You know, I think even if there's like a genre that you don't really love or a style you're not into, I believe you can really tell when a lot of like energy has been put into work, whether that's music or choreography or, you know, film.
Trying to see. Oh, when you go to LA, what do you hope to accomplish out there? Is it the same thing that you've been doing? As you say in New York, you're directing a lot of things and generating a lot of content, or do you hope to take on more dance choreography?
I want to direct more. I think choreography has been more of like my breadwinner in the past few years, and I've been directing music videos for like a few years, and the company that I work with out there is representing me as a director, so that's exciting. So I want to direct more. I also really love like live performance and
Yeah, you do that too. Is there a difference between that and like choreographing for video?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think when you're working on like a tour choreography, you're thinking about the arc of the whole show. It's a lot more like working on theater. And I've been lucky enough to like get to work with Lizzo, who's incredible, and choreograph a few of her tours, and Harmar Superstar, and you know, some other local.
Is there going to be any choreography of yours on Soundset tomorrow at all?
No, not tomorrow.
Is there any that are on tour right now?
Lizzo still performs some of my choreography on a few songs.
Okay.
I'm trying to think if there's probably a few other things I'm forgetting of, but moving out to LA, I would love to choreograph more live shows, more tours. Yeah, and maybe direct tours too. I think it would be really cool to sit down with an artist and talk about the live experience that they want to have for their show, and how they want their audience to feel, and how they want to kind of tell a story with the visuals and the dance and the.
Did you ever see the behind the scenes on like the Justin Timberlake, or one of the Justin Timberlake tours, or any of those? Like the amount of like people and work and like.
Yeah, I love watching behind the scenes videos and tour diaries and stuff. It's a lot of, it's fun. It's inspiring.
Yeah, it's also daunting because I never thought that there was that many people involved with not only a tour but the rehearsal and the amount of time that they have to like go over and rehearse and go again. And not a lot of people get a lot of time to rehearse before they do those tours. How many rehearsals does an artist like myself usually need before they go into like a music video? Like you're saying, well, I need at least like 3 to 5 days to work with this one. Or if somebody's like a seasoned dancer, is it less? I mean, like not only less, but how much less?
Yeah, I don't know. It just depends the person. It depends how much they want to dance. Depends how much they want to push themselves. Yeah, it's different every time.
Yeah. So I'm trying to. I don't want to, you know, poo-poo myself, but I'm trying to think like when, like was that when I remember when I went to like the corner of the room, like was that like that's like a kind of, is that a normal like reaction? You said like people getting intimidated by like dancers in the rehearsal and whatnot, or is that just?
I mean, I think that I don't know. It's different. So much is based on schedule too. You
Yeah.
know, sometimes I'm rehearsing with the backup dancers for a long time, and then I get to work with the artist for just like a day or two.
Yeah.
But I think usually when I'm working with an artist for the first time, what I actually prefer to do is work with them alone for a long period of time, so that by the time we bring in dancers and those other elements in,
Yeah.
they feel really confident.
Yeah, and then I remember we were doing that, and that totally helped for me as well. We'll wrap up, and I'm curious. Do you have any stories or like scripts that you've thought of that you want to direct or work on once you get out to Los Angeles? Is there anything like that like outside of dance that you want to take on, or certain stories that you've thought of? And if so, what are they?
Yeah, a couple of years ago, I shot a narrative piece called Agent Max. It's like a crime-fighting drag queen.
Okay.
And I'm really I'm a huge action fan growing up. I loved James Bond. I loved Lethal Weapon. I loved all the,
God.
Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh my God.
Total action junkie.
Yeah.
But I think what's unfortunate is in that genre and landscape, there's not really any queer characters. You see gay characters and queer characters in comedy and drama and even thriller, but you just don't see them in action movies. So
Has there ever been a queer character in an action movie?
Not really, no. Not
I'm
enough.
hard pressed now.
Not enough.
Not enough.
So I'm like, hey, queer people can shoot and jump off buildings and drift cars, and so I would like to make more very action-packed queer content. Maybe a sequel to Agent Max.
Okay.
We'll see.
Can we find Agent Max online?
You can.
You can.
If you YouTube Agent Max, you'll find it.
I hope it's the first thing that pops up when you type in Agent Max. I'm sure there's.
I think it is.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's not, all right.
Maybe type in Agent Max John Mark. I don't know.
Agent Max John Mark.
I don't know how the internet works.
Well, we'll look out for Agent Max Part 2. And anything else you got going on that you want to tell people about, or you're just off and you're gone? Just deuces out of here. No more winter.
I don't know. I don't know what else to talk about. I'm directing a Census Fail video next month. So
What's
that'll
that?
be fun. It's a rock band.
Census Fail.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
What was the group that you did the fight choreography for?
Duckworth?
Duckworth.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that video came out recently. You guys should check that out. It's called Boy.
Okay.
B-O-Y by Duckworth.
And was that scenario based on any? It looked like a video game that I'd seen before. No, it wasn't.
I think it was just based on subverting the damsel in distress trope. We wanted to hang the man upside down and have the female protagonist come save the day.
And that, okay, I keep saying last thing, but this is seriously the last thing. Agent Max, so queer superhero.
Yeah.
But does it have to be overt, or is it just kind of, because sometimes when I write I'm like, I want characters of color in the scene, I want this to happen, but sometimes I just don't want them to be talking about race all the time. Can be a queer superhero and not have to, can this person just exist and not have to address their identity, or does the identity have to be on in all the language and whatnot?
Not all the language, but I think it needs to be relevant. I mean, it depends. I mean, it kind of depends the story that you want to tell. I mean, I think there's a lot of space, and I think it's important to take space.
Yeah.
As a queer artist, as a queer director, I think queer characters need to take space. So, I think in most action movies, that action hero's sexuality takes up a lot of space in the film, So there's always a female, there's always a love story, there's always a sex scene.
Yeah.
So I feel there should be some equity there, right?
Yeah. No, there should. I never thought about that. The sex does tape up the yeah, the identity takes up a lot of space.
But
Definitely.
also that shouldn't define the character either. You know, the
No.
character can still be way deeper and way more complex and,
Yeah.
and have a lot of other things going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to watching it, and thank you so much for
Yeah.
taking a little bit of time out of your final days here in Minneapolis. And
Thanks for
talking
having
with
me.
us. No
It was
problem.
fun.
A little too formal there for you?